Hello, YouTubies in the bedroom here. Your guitar junkie with this. Timing has to be spot on. Yeah. So that is what I was going to do the other day with my telly. You can see I have to have a whammy bar. And I'm looking down and I had the wrong pedal combination. Let me put the mic on so I'm louder. Bear with me. Do 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 do. Okay, I think we're up and running. Testing. Is this thing on? Stop blowing in my ear. Okay. So yeah. That was the combination I should have had on. My TC Electronics Zeus drive pushing into that, my Dirty Boost Demon FX Attack Drive. I'm remembering the name. My Andy Timmons clone pedal, which is 10 times better than the original JHS. Is it? Yeah, because I had it and I didn't like it. I saw this and I figured, I kind of liked it. I kind of didn't. I wasn't thrilled with the price. I think I bought it used for like 150. And I tried and I was like, wow, this is 10 times better. And I bought another one. That's how much I like it. Because not that pedals crap out, but you never know. And if it's something that I truly believe in and I enjoy, I'd rather have a second one nowadays, especially if I put it on a smaller, more portable pedal board in case I go somewhere with like my little Fender Princeton amp over there. Because you could get a good thick sound out of that as well if you dial it down. It's 3 settings, 25, 50, and 100 watts or something like that. I think if you go down 25 watts, it gets a lot thicker, fuller kind of thing. But yeah. So I was wanting to play this song. I was like itching, and because I had the telly that day to add to my ads on Marketplace and Craigslist to help promote the sale of said instrument, I was dying to play it, but then I played other things, and then I forgot that I didn't even play it. So I figured I'd come in here and play it today with my Super Shredder, Eddie Van Halen, Deluxe, quilted maple top on here with your Eddie Van Halen Floyd Rose, and I do have it as a rocker. So it goes up so little, but I could rock it. You do that. It's hard when it can only dive down to rock it because you'll bottom out sometimes. Drop D, don't use it, don't care. Who needs it? And because it's got the shiny, body to it, I put my Viking Wolf decal on there because it could peel off. And I put this on. This is like the third guitar I put it on. Removed it from the other two, kind of thing, and it still looks fine. I had that on my wallet as well. So 22, what I believe could be medium jumbo frets. It could be jumbo, but I'm thinking medium. They're not extra jumbo. On an ebony fingerboard. Play dot inlay. Get the excuse me. Got the EVH on the headstock. Matching headstock, by the way. And the locking nut right through the neck, as it used to be back in the day. Ibanez doesn't even do that anymore. Washburn does, though. It's on my two N4s. And Chauvel doesn't do it. I found out I was playing my Chauvel, my Sunburn, the red and yellow one, the other day. And I was just, every day I pull one off the wall. I do this. And then then I check my tuning. I just pre-stretched the strings. And as I did that, I heard a knock up here, like a kind of thing. I did a couple, and it kept on doing it. So I removed the 3 Allen keys here, took the blocks out that locked the strings in, took my Phillips screwdriver, the 2 Phillips in there, and I was able to actually tighten them down. One more so than the other, locked it back up, checked the tuning, and when I did that, I had no issues. So if you're diving down on your whammy bar with a Floyd, and you hear that, because I've had that happen before. It's not the first time. That's why I knew right away to go to that. You just have to remove these and tighten up on the 2 Phillips screws that this block is screwed into instead of screwed through the neck. And I've never had that experience on something that is bolted through the neck, just to let you know. So yeah, and these pickups are just amazing. Again, I just changed the knobs to face that way instead of facing up. That's the only thing. I like the toggle here. I really do prefer the toggle up top, like on my natural limited edition ash. I think it's swamp ash, because when I use the arm, I hit that switch, and on that one up here, I don't. It's I just like it. I can hit it on the fly. Same thing with my N4s. I just wish they were up top. But again, that's just me. I do use my tremolo a lot, and going with it and grabbing it. Sometimes I do hit that, and sometimes stick it in the middle where it's like the lowest volume between the two. You know, uh, bridge and neck. So I deal with it basically. Yeah, I still great guitar. I'm so glad I got it. EVH, made by Fender in Mexico, from what I remember. Yep, with the Fender F logo on there. These are just amazing guitars. Really nice. To me, it's preference. It's between this and the Chauvel's as far as good quality and you know price. They're not made in the United States. Maybe now, with tariffs going on, they might move back to America and put American jobs back on the table. But yeah, it's great. I love it. But then again, I'm a Strat guy with two humbuckers and a Floyd, and I'm happy. So yeah, and the thing with the tariffs, maybe I shouldn't have mentioned that because sometimes it triggers people and it pisses them off. But who cares? I say things people think about, but don't want to say sometimes when I'm criticizing somebody, another YouTuber, how they act and what they say and how they play, how they look, musicians, how they are on stage, and the whole bit. And they're becoming divas with, I can't get my fingers wrinkled, by doing the dishes, and I have to have everything exactly to specs, or else I really can't play as good as I. Where that's like really horseshit. And yeah, so I say stuff like that. I kind of regret it afterwards that I said it, but I'm putting it out there. If you feel the same way, chime in. If you disagree, chime in. Vent a little bit. I found that if people aren't complaining, they're not happy. So, and I do. I complain. I complain. I just try to do it in a sensible, funny kind of way. So I had mentioned a while ago, a long time ago, that one of the friends that one of the people that I know that's a professional musician is Jeff Watson. And if you know who he is, then great. If you don't know, I'm not going to mention the band that he's in. But this is going back to, I think, 2017, 2018, with another friend of mine that's a professional musician that's in with all these other high name people. Because I'm friends with him on his his Facebook account, and then his personal account. I became friendly with other musicians because they know him, they played with him, they were on the same stage, one band and another band. That's how I got friendly the one time with Gary Hoey back in the day, and that's how he gave me permission to use his backing track for this particular song right here. That's the Gary Hoey backing track. copied from Hocus Pocus's Focus. Yeah, say that 3 times fast. So um, I became friends with him again, and we were on Facebook, and then we would chat quite a lot on Facebook messaging. And then he was like sending me stuff, sending me videos. I've mentioned this before. I'm not gonna, you know, reiterate everything. And the thing that, you know, the reason why I unfollowed him, I should have said this from the beginning. I unfollowed him, but we were still friends on Facebook. So you could still be friends with someone, but unfollow them. It's another guy that I'm friends with. That's a drummer, and I just he posts so many pictures of himself. I had to unfollow him, and then about a year goes by. I hit the unfollow to click it to follow him. So we're friends, and we could I could see his post. Again, he's just posting the same pictures of himself over and over, like he's so vain. So I unfollowed him again, but I'm still friends with him. I guess he could still see my page. I don't know how that works, but I can still message him and communicate with him that way, which I have. And the same thing with Jeff Watson. When he sent me a video of the slaughterhouse, and my daughter sitting next to me, I was like, I can't trust this guy. And that's really the only reason why I unfollowed him. But we still communicated through Facebook messaging. And he could send me a video that way, but I'll know that if it's from him, like, because I was just scrolling on the screen, and then he would come up, and then it was a video as clear as I could see it. It was like a barn out in the field in a farmland somewhere. And I'm like, oh, what's this all about? Because I saw he was an animal guy, because he feeds these deers, bucks and does in his backyard. And he's got a lot of videos on that. And I see this, cattle going in, and then and then they cut them all up. And my daughter's like, we're thinking, oh, how cute. What's going to go happen here? And then all of a sudden she's like, oh, Daddy, what's that? So he just started popping up on my Facebook. What is it? Page, Facebook, reel. What do you call that? The my Facebook feed, I think it is. And I'm like, oh, I wonder how this happened. It had happened, like that before. I did the same thing, believe it or not, with I don't want to another. The name, but I got sick of his videos, what he was doing. He was showing him going on a plane and exercising and at a gig and this and that, but he was doing family videos, um, I'll just say it, with his mom constantly. And I'm like, oh man, it's him and his mom like all the time. Like, well, are you kidding me? Is he a mama's boy? And if he is, that's fine. But I was just like, so yeah, I unfollowed him twice because he came back on my feed again. Same thing with Jeff. And some of the things he puts up are amusing. Again, it's a video of him with the deer in the backyard, and the last one was he was showing a buck, nice rack on it. They were like velvet rack. It was a velvet rack, and he had a hurt leg. And then he goes over to his pedal board, and then that was it. And I was like, I said, hey, like the deer whisperer, and I like to see what's on your pedal board. It looked very, very, minute. It looked like a whole hell of a lot. What's on it, kind of thing. And then he posts, because he's from California, and I believe 90% of the people, yeah, at least 92 or 95% of the people in California are totally brainwashed to what's going on. And if you know anything about what's going on in California, if you're not in California, you're like, what's going on in California? That's not right. And the people that live there, if they agree to that and think what's going on in California is great, he's one of those people, just to give you an idea. And he's not he's not the only liberal friend that I have. So, and he's posting derogatory, negative, non-factual untruths of what's going on in the world today. And again, that's him. I've got friends that are like that, and I tried having a conversation with them, and it to keep it friendly and respect their opinion, and it never works out that way. So I don't bother anymore. I give up because I don't want to be dealing with anger and hatred. So I want to turn this world into a positive one, kind of thing. So I don't know if anyone can explain to me how it is. Is it because I'm still friends with him and I unfollowed him, and maybe that time period, like the other guy, Gary Hoey, it ran out and then they popped back on again. I don't know. But I've got another guy that I know. I only met him a couple of times, and he's another guy from famous bands. And I was never even friends with him, but now all of a sudden he's on my Facebook feed, inviting me, for this, for that, the other thing. So I don't really know the particulars about how the whole Facebook thing works, but and I'm not one of those guys that have to be a social butterfly and I have to have like a bazillion friends. I only have 74 friends because I had over 100 and I purged a lot with friends that I weren't really friendly with on a personal level. All my friends now are friends that I've known personally, and had a conversation with them, or we speak a lot. If I didn't really know them, but we were friends, became friends for whatever reason on Facebook, we communicate with one another, and I keep that. The ones that like I went to school with, I wasn't really friends with, and we don't communicate with, I cut them off. The other ones after 2016 cut me off, kind of thing. So it kind of tells you where I am on things. So yeah, again, how did that come up? I don't even know. That's how my brain works. It's a mystery to me, or misery. Thanks for watching. Have a good day and a better tomorrow.